Hi, I'm Dimbolt. Recently, I just released a new track on Simplify called I Wanna Know. It goes something like this. Today I wanted to dive a bit more on the project and show you how the track evolved over the years and how you can make this type of drum and bass at home. Because yes, I started this track in 2021, so it took me almost 2 years to make this track. Before we start, if you want to see more video about music production and drum and bass, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, back to the video. So I found the original track. You can see that I started this track the 20th of February in 2021, so almost 2 years ago. Maybe we can listen to it first. I love the horns here. Ooh, okay. Very loud bass. Okay. Okay, really. So the idea is really different from what we have now, but there is a lot of elements that stayed in the final track. Here you can just find the vocals, it's spliced vocals. I don't think there's much to say. Here you heard the brass, it's BBC Symphony Orchestra from Spitfire Audio. Very cool plugin, it's free, so... Then we have the main melody. I think what took me the most time in this track is the melody. So here we have the old melody. So it's a really long melody. That was the problem. There was like 3 seconds before something even happens in the track. I just changed the melody in the final version of the track. You can see here in the final track how many melodies I tried. Every line here is a new melody, but they were not driving the track enough. Anyway, I'm going to show you the latest project. First, we have the synths. They sound like this. The track wasn't driven enough by the melody. The melody was kind of boring and flat. In order to balance that, I decided to have a more ascending and descending melodies because I have a very long chord progression. So the melody is actually a few layers. So if I go here, you can see that there is 5 layers in that. So let's review them one by one. First, we have the flute. Of course, I wanted the flute because I wanted the summer feeling, forgetting all your problems while the water splashing on your head. I don't know what I'm saying. I just googled how to make a flute in Serum and made this one. The only thing is that I tried to keep it synthy in a way to not sound too much like a flute. By the way, if you want to have this preset, I'll give it for free in the description down below. Then we have another layer. So here is just some super saws. It's a preset that I think I've tweaked a bit, but not too much. Then we have some big brass. Yeah, it's called big brass. I think it complements well the flute. Then we have one of my favorite layer. It's the Nexus layer. It's just bells. Then there's another preset, and I use this layer in every of my tracks. It's wide and full and distorted and everything. And together it sounds like this. The main element is the flute, but every other element needs to back up the flute and feel more of the frequencies. If you hear only the flute, it doesn't cover a lot of frequencies. Now if I put them all together, it's almost like a big block of cheese of sound. I don't know why I said cheese. Then we have the vocal. Let's see how I treat it. Let's turn everything off. So first we have Neutron. I just use the track assistant because I have no idea what I was doing with vocals. Then we have some compression. Some more compression. Then I decided it was time to stop the compression and I started the EQ. Just to boost the very deep rumble of the female voice and the high end. More EQ for more bass and more high end. Then a DSR, it will suppress the s. So if I put only the output, you can hear. Then this raw vocal goes into 3 bus. So there is the raw vocal. Then there is 2 bus, one for reverberación. There's some delay, reverb, so I use Valhalla Room. Full reverb, because there is still the main vocal. And then there is a second one. It's a little altar boy with some distortion and some beat crushing. So this really destroyed layer, it acts well to fill the low mids and the mids. So altogether it sounds like this. Then we have the bass. There is 4 layers of bass. There is a plucky bass that goes tuku 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 tuku. Now for real, it sounds like this. So there is 1 layer that goes like this. Second layer goes plucky like this. Third layer is just the sub. Then there is the last bass. That's it for the bass. Not much to say except that it needs sidechain. So every time the kick plays, there is a tick that plays with the kick. And this goes straight into the buses. So all the basses go in the same bus. And then there is the compression. That's it for the bass. Now for the drums, I wanted to have a very splashy snare, almost an organic one. If I have to describe my snare, it's high. So the key here to make this type of track is that there is so many frequencies already taken in the highs by the synth that it needs to be super simple. So I have 3 layers. Here are all the breaks together. First we have just to keep the rhythm going. Then we have another one. Then we have one last one that I use in all my tracks. It's very splashy. Gives that breaky feeling. Then we have the snare. It goes something like this. Not much to say except I used a lot of EQs. And then we have the kick. It's just one kick that I treated right with just a bit of EQ, roll off the high end and some of the muddiness of the kick. Then in the whole bus group, I used compression to make it glue together. Then we have some EQ to boost some of the mid. Really subtle things. Then there is a Cymatic Diablo Light. It just sounds more fat, I think. Then I have some fresh hair to bump a bit the highs. And I think that's it for the drums. I hope you find something valuable in this video. It's cool sometimes to keep your oldest project and come back to it years later. It can end in great tracks that will be released. So thank you for watching this video. And you can like the video. Apparently it helps with the algorithm. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.